Once they're on the rap sheet, they are not removed ever unless they are sealed by the court or they're a juvenile charge that was expunged by the court. Also, if the agency calls us or sends a letter, they have to send a letter by the chief of police or the sheriff asking us to remove that charge. Those are the only times a charge was removed from the CBI rap sheet. Colorado is an open record state, so everything in the public version is available to anyone who's interested in looking at, as long as you know someone's name and date of birth and or social security number, you can look that person up and view their rap sheet. Juvenile charges will not be on that record. Anything that's sealed or expunged will not be on that record. That's viewable to the public. The juvenile charges, if it's a traffic charge, that is releasable to the public. So if they're under 18, nothing will be on there unless they got arrested for speeding or driving under the influence or something like that. Or if they were charged as an adult, that will show up on the public version of the rap sheet. For updating dispositions, again, say the court didn't attach manually or automatically, or it's been so old that they wouldn't have. The individuals will have to obtain a copy of the final disposition from the court, and they can do that on the website at that courts.state web address, or they can go to the court. But they can either mail it to us or fax it to us, and then we'll get that updated for them. If charges weren't filed, so they didn't even have to go to court for it, but it was dismissed for whatever reason, and we still show the arrest on there, they'll have to go to the arresting agency or the district attorney's office to obtain whatever final disposition they have on it. And then we can update the record. Charges are dismissed. They are not removed from the record. They just show dismissed. And they will stay there forever unless they get them sealed. If they're sealed, those charges are not viewable to the public. So they will not show up on a public version rap sheet. They are still viewable by law enforcement. They stay on the record. They don't ever go away. And a lot of people call us thinking, you know, I did my probation or whatever, it's supposed to go off my record. It doesn't ever go off the record. We can still view it. Courts still can view it, but if it's sealed, no one else can. An individual, like their juvenile record, if they want a copy of their record showing the sealed information, we need fingerprints, and it's again either through us or by the local law enforcement agency can request a copy of their entire record, but it can only be to that individual. To seal a charge, a petition is made to the courts, and there are certain criteria. If it was a drug conviction, it has to have been 10 years ago, and all the obligations must have been completed. And there's a whole, on our website there's all of the state statute of what all the conditions of what has to be done before you can even petition to seal a record. We actually, and I haven't seen this done, but CBI has the ability and the arresting agency has the ability to try to deny a motion or a petition to seal a record. So if someone wants to seal a record and the arresting agency says, no, we want that on the record, they have the opportunity to present that to the court as well. We don't make that determination. It's all up to the court. So once the court says it's sealed, it's sealed. We have to seal it. If we don't, it's a horrible charge, and why they seal it, it's not our.
So if it's sealed, like, you know, when I run them and I get no arrest record for this person, how is that front page going to look if it's sealed?
If there's nothing else on there, say the person has 5 charges. You'll see all other, and one of them is sealed. Right. You'll see the 4 other ones.
Right.
If they're all 5 have been sealed or none have been sealed, you'll get nothing. You'll get a no record found.
Okay.
Completely. Okay. And those instructions again are on our website. I read the state statute because there have been questions about, well, do I have to disclose if I'm in a job interview and I'm asked, do I have to disclose sealed information? And according to the state statute, that upon the entry of the order to seal it, so once the record's been sealed, the person may properly reply upon any inquiry in the matter that no such record exists. So they can say no. If they ask, you know, if you've been convicted of a felony and it's been sealed, they can say no. And we aren't supposed to advise on any legal matter. So the only thing I want to bring up, like a condition of my employment was a polygraph examination, and I don't know how that would be detected on a polygraph. they ask if you've been arrested and you say no because you can because it's been sealed, if it would detect it as a lie or not. I don't know how that works. So, so it's really up to the person still to say yes, but it's sealed, or no, and whatever happens. But no, after someone said, I have a sealed record, no one can inquire further. And they're not allowed to, I mean, they can't see it, so they wouldn't have any way to know what it was for. But they aren't allowed to discriminate against that fact. So if the person says, I have, but it's been sealed, end of story, done with the conversation, they don't have to go any further. And that's per state statute.
Can you send me that too?
I certainly can.
How soon after you are arrested and go through court and the whole everything can you seal your record?
I know for like drug it's 10 years. For the other ones, I think if it's been dismissed, I'm not entirely sure. It's on our website, I can email it to you. I'm sorry, I don't do the seals and disposition, so I'm not quite as familiar with that stuff. There are certain criteria that has to be met though. Juvenile expungements, I'm not sure if there's a year limit. I think that has to be at least a year and no other charges. You haven't been a bad kid since then. And then again, it's at the judge's discretion. So you can petition whenever you want and the court will send you back if you have to wait this long or no because of this and this and that. But I can get you a list of all the criteria. Why?
But there's no way to ever take off arrest records, even if they were all dismissed.
If they were dismissed, the only thing that will show is in the court, it'll show dismissed. Unless they petition to have it sealed, and then it'll be sealed and not viewable to the public.
But the police still have access to it. Law enforcement can still see it.
And they would still have access to, if they provided us with fingerprints, they could still get their entire record. I'm not sure, I mean, why we don't, I don't know what the law behind that is, why we keep it on there. But it does, it stays, it just doesn't show to the public.
And you said, I'm sorry, you probably said this, but to seal a record, it costs money or?
I don't know, I think every jurisdiction is different, so every court, county is different, and I don't know the prices. I know it costs to, if they want to petition, like, it does cost money, but I don't know how much, if it's substantial, if it's just how to file paperwork, I have no idea.
And they would
one client that was trying to do it was a minimum of $250 just to file the paperwork.
You just go to the court too.
So again, if that's not an option, which I mean for me that's expensive. If they have the paperwork that shows it was dismissed or deferred or whatever, that paperwork, get it to us. I mean, because at least we'll update the record to show that it was dismissed. That's better than nothing, than just showing a straight felony or whatever.
Right. To get something sealed, do you have to go to the county you were charged in?
Same thing with juvenile expungements. And I may be incorrect in this, but I think juvenile expungements actually get taken off the record. So since they're not releasable to the public anyway, it's not that big a deal. But I think juvenile records that are expunged are completely gone. Completely gone, not even viewable by law enforcement, I believe.
Except sex offenses.
Except those.